Hello and welcome back to the Typical Crypto Holder, the YouTube channel number one, where the reason why you subscribe is because we on a daily basis covering up all of the most resonant huge news, where we're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto market, and not only talking actually, but exactly explain how it can influence on Bitcoin and crypto assets price for us as a crypto holder. So today we are gonna talking about, are NFTs being used for money laundering? Yes, they are, claims Mr. Whale. Jordan Peterson wraps his divisive Gaga brain around Bitcoin, and Happy 21st crypto ETF field for 2021, which Cryptoin's Ethereum ETF trust. So I think it's really interesting. So hit that like subscribe button and let's get, if you're not subscribed yet, and let's get started. So NFTs could be a vehicle to legitimize ill-gotten gains for the crypto elite. So the non-fungible token space has been a hive of activity over the past month or so, but there could be more going on that meets as concerns emerge over the sector's involvement in money laundering and tax evasion. So crypto investors and uber-bearish crypto commentator Mr. Whale has drawn attention to the darker side of the burgeoning NFT space. In blog post earlier this week, the Bitcoin early adopter attributed the popularity and notoriety of NFTs to their ability to facilitate money laundering and tax evasion for the wealthy. So behind the facade of a bunch abort of rich dudes buying digital artwork at insanely high prices lies a sinister and twisted money laundering scheme for crypto's ultra-rich elites to make their illegal profits look legal. So he argues that because art is so subjective and in the eye of the beholder, NFTs often do not face scrutiny from lawmakers and regulators. This aspect of art is primary reason why it has been used as a vehicle for illicit financial flows for securities, he added. So the actual laundering of money aspect is quite simple, according to Mr. Wei. Buying NFTs from oneself using illicit funds is an easy way to move money while claiming the funds were used for legitimate art purchase and avoiding taxes in the process. An example was demonstrated by former USA Today journalist Isaac McCall on his blog earlier this year, where he explained the process. So if you have $1 million in illegal money, you would spend $1 million on your own NFT. You can do this yourself or use trusted third-party account. Then you resell the trash for nothing and bend the profits. So Kat Graham, an adjunct faculty member in the art and design department at LaSalle University, Massachusetts, told Mr. Weil that NFTs are already being used to launder money in similar ways conducted with physical art. She added that they offer some advantages, elaborating, it could possibly be even easier to move dirty funds around because it's tied to a decentralized currency, and the fact that there are no physical artworks to have to transport or store in offshore tax haven warehouses. So for these reasons, the NFT scene is likely to attract the attention of regulation and tax authorities, according to both Mr. Wayne state. He has no doubt that governments will end up cracking down on its trend, adding while there are a number of NFT exchanges without KYC AML regulations, this will definitely change the future. So let me know. It's a different point of view, I think, I would say. So let me know in the comment section below. Let's discuss on it. Do you actually believe that NFTs can be used for money laundering? So Jordan Peterson wraps his divisive Jaga brain around Bitcoin. So Jordan Peterson published a podcast titled Bitcoin, the Future of Money, this week that hosted Bitcoiners including John Wallace, Derek Gigi, Richard James, and Robert Bradlow. So controversial Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson appears to have turned onto Bitcoin in the latest episode of his podcast. So on August 10, Peterson published a podcast titled Bitcoin, the Future of Money. So basically in the video, Peterson, who claims to have an IQ around 150, puts toward a succinct description of the innovation from which Bitcoin derives its value from. It's a very interesting idea that in some manner Bitcoin provides an incorruptible language of value preferable to gold. Throughout the episode, the 59-year-old author prompted his guests to provide their views on the value that Bitcoin provides to society, and in turn he then re-articulated their answers back to them in an attempt to form a fundamental understanding of its key concepts. So here we have basically the tweet of Jordan B. Peterson, and so Bitcoin is completely transparent. It's completely distributed. There's no centralized authority. It can be cracked. It can be stolen. It doesn't inflate. It can be inflated. It isn't subject to any form of overt administrative control, he said. While Patterson isn't known as a crypto proponent, he may know more about Bitcoin and blockchain tech that he let one on in the video. The psychologist started accepting Bitcoin donations back in 2018 after he boycotted Patreon over free speech issues. So the clinical psychologist has publicly discussed the significance of Bitcoin tech on multiple occasions, and during an interview with Grant Bledsoe in January 2020, he tentatively stated that there's a whole bunch of problems that this new system solves. But you can be bloody certain that there's a whole bunch of problems it's going to introduce. So Peterson also questions the guests on what they thought were the downsides of Bitcoin and referred to Elon Musk's environmental concerns surrounding the sustainability of mining practices behind the asset. So the consensus among the guests was that the energy required to maintain the Bitcoin networks was worth it because of its transformative effects on society in terms of decentralization, with Gigi's suggestion that society in general asks these questions about all kinds of things. Are cars worth it? Are smartphones worth it? Is the internet worth it? So Peterson then boiled down the discussion by stating if Bitcoin's value propositions were found to be true, the result would be that whatever energy is expended in the production of Bitcoin and the maintenance of the system should be more than recouped by the increased efficiency of every system that uses Bitcoin as a transactional device. And so there be a net energy gain, not a net energy loss if you calculated it across the entire system. And so it's a mistake just to look at the cost of generating Bitcoin in the absence of considering the efficiencies that Bitcoin would produce, he said. So I think it's really interesting. Let me know what you're thinking about Jordan B. Peterson. Also, please let me know what news you find out for more interesting, more exciting. Jordan Peterson released Bitcoin, the future of money, or NFTs. Are NFTs actually being used for money laundering? So I think it's both topics worth discussing. So let me know in the comment section, hit the like, subscribe button, and also click on the video right now on your screens, where we covering up even more of the latest and most actual crypto news. So click on the video on your screen right now and see you in the next video.